Most people will scroll past this, but what I'm about to explain could quietly impact your taxes next year, including your refund and how the government treats your Social Security income. If you receive Social Security benefits, starting December 26th is not just another date on the calendar, it's the beginning of a short window that could determine whether your 2026 tax filing goes smoothly or turns into a stressful surprise. Every year, millions of beneficiaries wait until tax season to think about paperwork. But this year is different because Social Security is sending out two crucial forms, and what's written on them matters more than ever. The Social Security Administration is urging beneficiaries across the country to start checking their mailboxes right after Christmas, not because of a payment delay, not because of a scam, but because official tax documents are on the way. Documents the IRS expects you to use when filing your federal return next year. These forms don't look dramatic. They don't come with warning labels, but they quietly decide how much of your Social Security income becomes taxable and how much money you may owe or get back. One of those forms is something many seniors recognize, even if they don't fully understand it. It's called Form SSA 1099. This form is your official Social Security benefit statement. It shows the total amount of benefits you received during the previous calendar year, and depending on your overall income, that number can determine whether part of your Social Security becomes taxable. For some people, it changes nothing. For others, it pushes them over a threshold they didn't realize they crossed. The second form is called SSA 1042S. It serves a similar purpose, but it applies mainly to non-citizens who received Social Security benefits. Different form. Same impact. The IRS still expects the numbers to match what gets reported on your tax return. According to current guidance, these forms will begin mailing on December 26th and should arrive by the end of January. But here's something many people miss. You don't actually have to wait for the mail. If you have a My Social Security account, you'll be able to download these documents online starting December 25th, a full day before paper copies begin going out. That early access can make a big difference, especially for people who want to plan ahead or avoid filing delays. And this year, planning ahead matters more than usual, because behind these forms is a wave of major tax law changes that could directly affect how your Social Security income is treated. Earlier this year, a sweeping piece of legislation was signed into law, one that introduced a temporary but powerful tax break for qualifying seniors. Under this change, some retirees may be able to deduct up to $6,000 of taxable Social Security income. That single adjustment could lower tax bills for many households, or increase refunds for those who already had too much withheld. But here's the catch. That deduction doesn't apply automatically unless your tax filing is accurate, and accuracy depends on the numbers shown on your SSA 1099. There's more. Another law passed earlier this year quietly fixed something that had frustrated public sector retirees for decades. Teachers, firefighters, police officers, government workers who paid into pensions and still earned Social Security credits. For nearly 2.8 million people, previous rules reduced their Social Security payments. Those rules are now gone. That means higher monthly benefits for some, and in certain cases, lump sum payments retroactive to January 2024. Sounds like good news, and it is, but higher benefits also mean higher reported income, which means the numbers on your SSA 1099 could look very different than last year. That's why experts are urging beneficiaries not to ignore these forms, not to assume everything is the same, and not to wait until April to notice something feels off, because mistakes don't usually show up as red flags. They show up as smaller refunds, unexpected tax bills, or IRS letters months later. And here's the twist I promised you at the beginning, the part almost no one talks about. Some retirees may actually be owed money back. Because these law changes happened mid-year, Many people overpaid federal taxes in 2025 without realizing it. And those overpayments only become visible when the correct Social Security income is reported. In other words, that envelope arriving after December 26th isn't just paperwork. It could be proof that you paid too much, or a warning that you owe more than expected. Either way, ignoring it is the biggest mistake. So if you receive Social Security, retired, disabled, citizen, or non-citizen, make this one habit non-negotiable. Check your mailbox, check your online account, and make sure the numbers are right, because in a year filled with new rules, new deductions, and new benefit calculations, these two forms quietly decide how your Social Security story shows up on your tax return. And understanding that before filing season begins could save you money, time, and unnecessary stress.